Good day, good morning, and pre-afternoon. It is Yoist here bringing you another pre-recorded recording, and today we'll be continuing our 7 days to die walkthrough let's play guide of all my tips and tricks, and we're going to start to focus on base building. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, today I'm going to be covering a bit of the base building, and we're going to be taking out this roof to put a farm on top. And I want it to be about 3 blocks high, which that is perfect. I'm just going to build a basic frame around it and take everything off around it, so we can get our nice flat area to work from. Alright, now that's done, we're going to start to chop the shit out of everything. I always like to start off my base builds during the night time, as you have a lot of time to piss fart around and sort of get yourself started and do the real time consuming things like I'm doing right now. Alright, so I'm going to want to take out all this row, and this should make the building collapse down on top, and that way it will save a lot of time of me whacking out a lot of these things. So when you're base building, you want to sort of do the best thing for the building that you're in, or create the best sort of building that you can with what resources and time you have. So for me, it's only day 3, so I want to get a farm up and running. Alrighty, so I decided to take out a little bit more, take the whole thing down, and just build up and get the farm started on the top. Alright, now that our crafting quality is up to an acceptable level, about 180, we're going to go ahead and craft ourselves an iron fire axe, just to make cutting all this down and getting a lot of wood a bit easier and a bit quicker. But since we have a few more skill points left over, and they are mining tools, I'm going to go into -69er and get that. So you get a 20% more block durability, and you also use less stamina, so you can mine for longer and quicker. When you're doing any sort of base building, you always got to remember that this isn't Minecraft, and blocks don't hang by themselves, as everything's got its own weight limit. You can take out this block, even though they don't look like they're touching, that is still a solid block, and that is another solid block on top. So you got to take this one out, and by rights, all this should completely fall down. There we go, saving time. Alright, we've now got ourselves a nice little open area that we can start to build up from. So I think I'm going to come in from the center. It's 2, 3, and 4. We'll come up nice 4 block height. One more just so it looks grand. Alright, when building structures, you got to remember that blocks in this game have their own mass and max load. So that just means that you can't go and place blocks continuously in a line like that. They will fall down. I'm pretty sure for wood it is 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so you're going to want to go 5 blocks out and place one in the center, because if you go 6, it will fall. Which means right here is the max load that it can carry. So I'm going to want to put a support pillar right in the center, which you can't get center, and the same over here. Alright, so that's going to be the basic shape of our base, but we still cannot fill this in as we're not properly supported through the center. So we're going to have to calculate where we're going to need supports to support this up. So I'm going to come off from here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can get away with just having one dead center. And finished. Alright, so the reason that I like to have an area on top for a farm is because if you have one out just down on the ground that's not protected, if a roaming horde decides to come through, they'll just trample through your crop. They'll start to sort of hit it and just mess everything up, get stuck around it, and it's never fun. Alright, when upgrading, you're going to want to use the best tool that you have. You can use a stone axe, but so it takes 4 hits. If you go to the wrench, it takes 2. So you're cutting your upgrading time in half, then if you do have the resources, you can go across and make yourself a claw hammer, which takes one shot, but is sometimes a little bit slower than using the wrench itself. For me, I'm going to go craft on, as I find them a bit better for upgrading wood to the first level at least. And then the nail gun is the bee's knees of anything, although you just have to be careful, as if you hold the trigger for too long, you'll upgrade it to the max of what you have in your inventory. So while I wait for that claw hammer to start, I'm going to go and get some resources while it's still daytime. A lot of wood so that we can upgrade it, and some dirt to put down to start our farm. Okay, now our claw hammer's done crafting. I'm going to go ahead and equip it instead of my club, as my club does 10 entity damage, but the claw hammer does 11. And also, while hitting zombies, you level up your construction skills, which is always a good thing. Okay, so now I'm going to want to get a bit of dirt to place on console. If you are placing dirt, you just have to dig up one block to find one bit of dirt to be able to place. But for PC, you're going to need to dig up 2 dirt, because you need to make dirt itself. You can craft different sorts of dirt, which is quite good, but it uses 12 dirt fragments, and you only get 10 from destroying one block. So you're going to have to destroy a few more blocks to get the same amount of dirt. Another fun tip is you can actually use trees to fall on and kill zombies. If I can time this right. Got it. Just in case you don't want to waste an arrow or anything on it. When hunting animals without a mini bike, you're going to want to crouch to take your shot, as crouching you do a little bit more damage if you can hit them. So 2 times damage for the sneak bonus, so it's 2 arrows that I didn't need. So I'm going to let him run off, as he'll be bleeding and he'll die shortly. There you go, he's just died. Now I can go over and harvest all these goodies. Okay, now that you've got your claw hammer, you can go ahead and upgrade everything, and be one of the part of the great debate of what is actually quicker, the claw hammer or the wrench. A lot of people say that the wrench is quicker for upgrading cobblestone, as it hits that little bit faster, but you can decide that for yourself. Alright, if you are harvesting animals, you're going to want to might as well take their whole body, and their bones can be used for glue or into bone shivs. I like at the start turning them all into bone shivs, as it will give you a bit more on your weaponsmithing, and you can just go ahead and drop them. Alrighty, so now you're going to want a way to get up onto this area, and there are a few ways of doing it. You can make pretty little stairs, you can make a ladder, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to go and show you a nice little tip that I've picked up over my time, which is the hatch elevator. If you haven't seen it, it's actually quite a bloody good idea. I'm not too sure who came up with it, but Jesus Christ, they're a smarty. So you just place your hatches all on top of each other like so, walk into the bottom one, close it, and jump. Alright, so I want to have a hatch sitting on top of here, as I'm just going to use this as my drop down pit to where I drop down, and this will be where I come up. But you can't place anything here at the moment until you place, what I like to do is just a plate. You can't really notice it too much unless you stare extremely at it or somebody's told you. And now you can go ahead and place your hatches. You will notice that this one doesn't actually open the top hatch, it opens the bottom, as it's sort of glitched it somehow. Hopefully they don't fix it, as that is an amazing bug. So you go ahead and down. Alright, turns out that was 1 block too many to fall down onto. There is a way to get around falling down without placing ladders or anything, so I want to go ahead and take this block out, and I'm going to replace it with a hay bale. So now, when I fall down from there, I won't hurt myself as I land on nice soft hay bale. But if you do break your leg and you're thinking, oh god, how do I go to fix it? If you go over to your character menus, you click on your broken leg, it does show you what you can do to heal it, which I actually have a splint with me, so I'm going to go ahead and use that, which just slows down the time for it. But if you do want to craft it, go over to your crafting, your medical, and splint. So you just need cloth and wood. They're pretty easy to make, pretty quick, and they do come in handy, but I wouldn't suggest crafting a heap of them to have in your chest. Just make them as you need it. When you're placing your hay bales, you can't actually place hay bales unless there's a block underneath it. So you want to go and place a block under it. I'd probably suggest upgrading it as well, just in case a zombie does come inside, and then you can go ahead and place your hay bales. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and place down the rest of the dirt around everywhere that I can, so that now we can start getting into our farming just a little bit. So you're going to want to go and craft a hoe, which I've got on the go at the moment, and pick out the seeds that you're going to want to put in. For me, I want to put all these corn, so you go over to your corn, your recipes as you saw, and craft them all into seeds. Also you're going to want to get a little bit of aloe vera, go ahead and make probably 4 of those, a couple of yucca seeds, and we've got 1 goldenrod at the moment. We'll definitely be wanting to plant that blueberry. So I'm going to go ahead and bring all these down, wait for everything to sort of craft and get ourselves ready. And I'll see you when our hoe's done. Alright, now that your hoe's done, you're going to want to go over to your dirt and just right click it to till the dirt. Till dirt gives better resources than if you have just planted on normal dirt. And you can also further upgrade it to fertilized dirt to get even more out of everything. So now we're going to go ahead and plant. You just look at the place, plant it. On console, you can't actually you can't till the dirt in the same area. We can just go and till a whole square of blocks and place everything inside that area. On console, you've got to do strips, which for some reason come out in the weirdest sort of shape, but that's just what you get dealt. So I'm going to go ahead and plant all the corn that we have and spread the rest between whatever else we want to plant. For me, it's going to be 2 of each, so we're just going to let that grow. That's going to go nicely. Alright, so that's our little makeshift farm done. And so ends another episode. I hope you liked this video about base building. I will be going over it a little bit more on the episodes to come, as this was just sort of the general getting into the base building, as I needed to do a lot of resourcing, which took a fair bit of time. But if you did like that video, please remember to like that subscribe button and subscribe to that like button. And as always,